Hey everybody, Aaron Cowan, Sage Dynamics, and this is the Lantac Dragon for the Sig MPX. Lantac's Dragon muzzle device has been around for quite some time and caused some interesting controversy from here to there because of the muzzle flash, but Dragon is in the name. And that was mostly rifle related. First came out with the 5.56 as a standalone muzzle device, and then it started accepting suppressors when Lantac did the smart thing of getting together with some of the suppressor companies to make native mounts or adaptable mounts. One of the most popular, in my opinion, is the offerings for dead air. What's cool is now they make a muzzle device for the MPX. I like the MPX. It's probably one of my favorite PCC/SMGs, depending on how pedantic you want to be. And there's a disturbing lack of aftermarket muzzle devices for PCCs and SMGs. Granted, if the thread pattern's the same, you can put a pistol comp onto an SMG, and I've done that with some success, but there just doesn't seem to be as many offerings specifically for native, especially for the MPX. The MPX has a strange shouldered barrel that Sig seems to like very, very much, which comes in a couple different thread patterns, and most of your MPXs aren't any different. Recently, I re-barreled this MPX to give it the 6-inch barrel, which Sig offers on their website. Kind of a good overall length while still providing me rail space for all the goodies and accessories I'm probably going to need. But it still has that particular Sig shoulder. The Lantac muzzle device accounts for that, which is also a very cool feature. Because the Sig barrels are the 13.5 by 1 millimeter left-hand thread, the Lantac muzzle device for the Sig MPX accounts for that, of course, and it comes with an optional 90-degree shoulder that you may need for some of the barrels. I have seen some Sig MPX barrels that had a need for the 90-degree shoulder and others that didn't, but it's just a little adapter you throw on before you put the muzzle device on, get it timed, get it ready to go. Probably the coolest feature, being that the Sig is 9mm, the muzzle flash is not going to be necessarily atrocious anyway. And while I don't generally care for the Dragon unsuppressed around others or at night, the little guy for the MPX doesn't quite have the same muzzle flash, muzzle signature. So shooting at night was couldn't really notice a difference between that and shooting a traditional crown, barrel, or some of the other rarer PCC muzzle devices that are out there. And another cool feature is it just kind of keys up directly with Dead Air's key micro system, so I can throw my Dead Air Wolfman on there very easily. And even though I generally prefer direct thread for PCCs and SMGs, that's because I don't like 3-lug for various reasons, and a lack of muzzle devices. If other companies follow Lantac's lead, and I'm sure some already have, and some are doing it probably before, let's be honest, Lantac was. Having more muzzle devices that are suppressor specific can definitely change things, and I hope it starts an exciting trend. Overall performance of the Lantac muzzle brake, well, showing you guys on the video, it definitely provides a degree of muzzle redirection, gas redirection. So it does exactly what you'd expect a brake to do. And even though I know there's people like, oh, you don't need to comp, you don't need to brake the 9mm cartridge. No, you don't, but you guys like recoil? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, there's no blue ribbon or trophy or coin or first place prize for recoil management. It's not like a rite of passage that you have to be able to manage recoil. And I'm sure most people would agree that those people who start to pursue comps and brakes eventually, at least, have a degree of recoil management already, and having found that they could probably perform better with less recoil, have sought out muzzle devices to help them do that. Of course, exceptions are always going to be part of that case. Been using this thing for, well, this isn't really a review, it's more of an informational, just because reviewing a muzzle device is, well, okay, it works, and then we're done. But that's pretty much the case. I've been using it for thousands and thousands of rounds at this point. I don't actually know the hard count because, like I said, I wasn't doing a traditional 2,000 round review process on the MPX Lantac Dragon. But I can tell you definitively that it hasn't caused any issues. I didn't have any shift in accuracy when mounting it versus the crown barrel or the muzzle device I had on it previously, or what have you. And overall performance has been exactly what I would expect from a brake. Do you need a brake on a 9mm? No, but it sure is nice. Keeps the gun flatter. And as those who shoot PCCs and SMGs know, the 9mm recoil behavior is dramatically different when put into a shouldered rifle type platform SMG PCC versus out of a handgun or something similar, and people feel like, oh, you know, 9mm has a lot of recoil, or has more recoil or more noticeable recoil when you shoot it from a shoulder-fired weapon. And I'm like, well, if you fired a handgun, I mean, that's a whole lot of jump that's going on, even though comparatively 9mm has less recoil than other calibers. So this muzzle device helps tame that out, comparable to some of the other PCCs, the legacy PCCs that people always talk about. Like they say the MP5 has the best recoil pulse because of radial delayed blowback. Roller lock blowback. And I'm like, yeah, well, okay, that's true to a certain extent, but now, regardless of the operating system, be it direct blowback, be it delayed blowback, be it roller lock, be it radial roller lock blowback, whatever the terminology is going to be, I have the added benefit of controlling and redirecting muzzle gases as the bullet leaves the barrel, which gives me additional recoil management, which is something cool, and is an added bonus for those of you running dead air cans or the other mounting systems that Lantac offers. You can throw your suppressor right on there, which negates some of the inaccuracies and jankiness that we sometimes get from 3-lug adapters, and it prevents you from having to worry about your suppressor coming loose when shooting with a direct thread. So if you have an MPX and you want to shoot it flatter, and the answer to that should always be yes, get a Lantac Dragon for your Sig MPX. I'm Aaron Cowan with Sage Dynamics. Train accordingly.